You know that feeling at work, right? Those disagreements, that friction between teams that just seems to grind everything to a halt. It feels like a roadblock. But what if it's not? What if all that tension is actually fuel for something way, way better? Let's break down how to turn that friction into an engine for growth.
So let's just start with the big question that kind of hangs over every office. Is all of that conflict, all of that tension we feel, is it just bad? I mean, that's what we're taught to think, but today we're going to push back on that hard.
And here's the secret. The answer is no. The truth is, when you know how to handle it, conflict can be the very thing that sparks growth, creativity, and real innovation. Now, that key word there is managed. So how do we actually do it?
Well, it all starts with our first pillar, resolving disagreements. Think of this as the frontline response. What you do the moment that friction pops up.
So what exactly is conflict resolution? I love this definition. It calls it an art. It's all about the people side of things. It's about figuring out the real source of the disagreement between individuals and helping guide them to a solution that feels fair and, actually constructive. It's all about the who and the what.
And to be good at this, a manager really has to be more than just a boss. You've got to be an impartial referee, you have to be an empathetic listener who can actually hear both sides of the story, and you need to be a super clear communicator to steer that conversation in the right direction.
And these are the tools you'd use. This is your toolkit for getting it done. You might bring people together for a collaboration to find that awesome win-win, or maybe you guide them to a compromise that, hey, everyone can live with. Sometimes you got to step in as a mediator, and other times you're just facilitating a direct negotiation.
Okay, but here's where things get interesting. You can be the best conflict resolver on the planet, but what do you do when the exact same fight between two departments happens every single quarter? That's a huge red flag that you're just treating a symptom, not the actual disease.
And that brings us to our second pillar. This is where we go from just managing disagreements to actually solving the deep-down problems that are causing them in the first place.
Now check out the language here. Problem solving isn't an art, it's a science. It's all about systematically digging and digging until you find the root cause of an issue, and then building a real, lasting solution so it never comes back.
And because it's a science, it's got its own set of awesome analytical tools. Take the 5 whys technique. You literally just keep asking why over and over again until you get past the surface-level excuses and hit the real issue. Or you can use a fishbone diagram to map out every single possible cause. Or a SWOT analysis to really zoom out and see the whole strategic picture. So this is it. This is the big aha moment right here on this slide. Conflict resolution is about the people, the who and the what. Problem solving is about the system, the why. You absolutely need both. One without the other is like putting a Band-Aid on a broken bone. You need to resolve the immediate pain, sure, but you also have to fix the underlying break.
Now, all this theory is great, but let's see how it works in the real world. And for that, we're going to look at a fantastic case study from a company that does this stuff brilliantly, IBM. So, over at IBM, they had this classic recurring headache. Different departments were constantly butting heads over what projects were most important. This wasn't just a few people not getting along. It was a systemic problem that was causing friction and real delays again and again. So, what did they do? They created this amazing process they called design thinking, and look how it perfectly blends our two pillars. They facilitate workshops. That's mediation. They focus on empathy. That's a core conflict resolution skill. But they use those things to encourage co-creation and actually fix the system, turning all that negative friction into a positive source for innovation. That's problem solving in action.
And the result was, well, kind of a game changer for them. By building a system that handled both the personal disagreements and the broken process, they didn't just stop the fights, they literally turned that energy into this powerful engine for collaboration and brand new ideas.
So after breaking all this down and seeing it in action at IBM, what's the one big idea you should really walk away with?
It's this, right here. The most important thing isn't a new tool or some fancy process. It's a fundamental shift in your mindset. You have to stop seeing problems and conflicts as things you need to run away from and start seeing them for what they are, opportunities. Opportunities to learn, to get better, and to build a stronger, more resilient team.
I mean, this quote from the source material just nails it. The real goal isn't just to stamp out individual fires. It's to build a culture where everyone in the organization sees a problem as a chance to learn and to improve together.
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to take back with you. Think about that one recurring argument at your job, that constant point of tension. What if it's not actually a roadblock? What if it's something more? What conflict at your work is really an opportunity just waiting in disguise?